I was throwing this party for the MTV Movie Awards there, and I remember Beyonce was...
And then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy?
Jay-Z and Beyonce Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing Manzaro, Beyonce Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a penis mask standing here in front of me?"
Even if I'm at the Diddy party, I'm there to tell. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm there to see who the is in here. And what do y'all get?
Some new reports about Beyonce's alleged ties to those Diddy party yaps are all over social media right now. And it's being alleged that Beyonce wasn't just a witness, but an active participant in whatever went down at those parties. Now, the Carters are refusing to publicly comment on this. However, Katt Williams is out there saying that their silence tells you everything you need to know. Now, a source close to the Carters told InTouch Weekly that Bey and Jay are choosing to stay quiet on the whole Diddy situation because the last thing they want is to implicate themselves. And instead of addressing anything publicly, Beyonce and Jay-Z are leaning on their lawyer, Alex Spiro, to keep the rumors from reaching mainstream media. By the way, this is the same lawyer who was involved with those recently released DOJ files. In one of Jeffrey's emails, Spiro was actually referred to as a stone-cold killer, which tells you the level of protection the Carters have around them. But if you ask Katt Williams, it's even deeper than that. According to Katt, the reason no one will ever question Beyonce about her friendship with Diddy is the same reason Diddy got only 4 years in prison for a 3-decade worth of crimes. These people are all part of the same club that can do whatever they want on their private islands and never face serious consequences.
These Epstein-like characters have existed throughout history. Everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it. To have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
And just because Beyonce has a good PR image doesn't mean she's not doing the same thing as all these other billionaires. All right, now let's talk about how close Beyonce really was to Diddy. Their relationship dates back to Beyonce's early career with Destiny's Child, and there are multiple photos from this era showing them together at industry events. Jay-Z and Diddy were already close at that point, and Jay enlisted Diddy to help Beyonce with her debut solo album. Diddy ended up co-writing and producing the track Summertime for Dangerously in Love. And around this time, Diddy started inviting Jay-Z and Beyonce to his infamous parties. Now, the Carters' lawyer, Alex Spiro, recently put out a statement claiming there was no friendship between Jay-Z and Diddy and that they were just colleagues in the industry.
Your homie's doing a lot of things, man. Most importantly, you know, he had a recital that he has to be at the Blue. But I reached out to him, and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy's celebrating 20 years of hits. And this is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Yes, sir. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here.
But come on now, would Jay-Z skip his daughter's recital just to be with Diddy if there was no friendship? So you heard what he said. They're not friends, they're family. Now, it's true that Jay-Z is very calculated, and he has a long track record of throwing his friends under the bus. That's why he was so quick to distance himself from Diddy. But just because he suddenly wants to act like he and Diddy were never friends, doesn't suddenly erase all those years of friendship. And the whole time, Beyonce was right there. I mean, if people want to claim Nicki Minaj is a reflection of the man she married, what does that say about Beyonce? Not only did she marry him, but she stayed with him when he cheated on her, she stayed when he was named in that Diddy lawsuit, and she stayed when his name popped up in those DOJ files. So we can stop acting like Beyonce is some clueless woman. She knows exactly who she's married to, and she chose to stick by him. But was Beyonce just a silent witness to everything Diddy and Jay-Z were allegedly involved in? Or does she have some skeletons in her closet as well? Well, here's where it gets really disturbing. Former NFL player Larry Johnson, who used to be very close to Jay-Z, recently came out with some pretty wild claims about a party he reportedly attended with Beyonce years ago. And according to Larry, what he saw there was seriously sickening. Now, Larry was one of Jay-Z's closest friends at one point, but then Jay suddenly cut off Larry, right around the time when Larry started speaking openly about who he thinks really runs the entertainment industry. The media accused Larry of spreading conspiracy theories, and Jay immediately started acting like they never even met. But one of the things Larry was tweeting about that got him labeled a conspiracy theorist was about certain ritualistic crimes. And this brings us to this party that Larry claims he attended with Beyonce. Larry said that back in the early 2000s, he went to a late-night rap party that the Carters hosted in Colorado. And according to him, there were very young people at this party, as in not adults. And Larry claims that when Beyonce saw these young people, she made a really weird comment that made him uncomfortable.
I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the winter time of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house, and we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play, and after the game, it had to been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild, like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, you know, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this, because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving children.
Now, I know a lot of people think Larry is just saying things for clout, but for him to tell a wild story out there like this, involving one of the biggest stars of her generation, knowing that he could be liable for a lawsuit on grounds of slander if he were making it up, speaks volumes. Remember how quickly Jay-Z and Beyonce moved to shut down Jaguar Wright when she appeared on Piers Morgan's show and said Jay is worse than Diddy? So why didn't they do the same with Larry Johnson? If he completely fabricated this story, you would think Beyonce's team would want to clear this up ASAP, especially since his story involves non-adults. But it's not just Larry Johnson. Many different people connected to the entertainment industry have made allegations about Beyonce similarly, but somehow they were all either silenced or called crazy and mentally unstable. Remember Kimberly Thompson, Beyonce's former drummer? In 2018, she accused Beyonce of being into extreme witchcraft, and she even filed for a restraining order saying Beyonce used spells and dark magic against her.
I put this person on a pedestal. I love them. I send emails, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating. The entire time, I'm dealing with a group of people, her specifically, they practice this. I don't know jack shit about witchcraft and magic spells. This restraining order was not done as a publicity stunt. I don't want anything, and I really want to make that clear. I want nothing to do with it.
And keep in mind that Kimberly didn't sue Beyonce for money. She just wanted Beyonce to leave her alone. And she even refused money for interviews, so it's not like she had anything to gain from sharing this publicly. And you could tell just from the way she spoke that this woman experienced something that truly terrified her. Like, you can visually see the PTSD and feel her anguish.
Well, I definitely did that to definitely be so clear to cut the cord that I don't want to have anything to do with this person at all. I don't want to work with them. I'm even embarrassed that I have worked with them because it's literally shattered everything that I've tried to build after doing that work in my life. So if I have always said when I was a kid, I never would want to regret anything, but this I regret. I regret that we ever worked together because it's turned my life completely upside down. Doing that, starting with a restraining order, I don't want anything to do with this person.
And what's interesting is that when Kimberly told other people in the industry what happened, she said no one was surprised to hear Beyonce was allegedly involved in witchcraft. However, they're all scared to say anything publicly.
But everybody knows, like this, it's interesting that, the public doesn't know all these things, but the people that are associated in the higher powers to say more or less do.
So this isn't just some random fan who's never met Beyonce. This is a former band member who worked with her for years and ended up being forced to take a restraining order on her, taking and uproot her whole life. And what's crazy is that she's not the only one. Remember Ashley Everett, Beyonce's former dance captain? She was one of Beyonce's best-known dancers and appeared in all of her iconic music videos, like Single Ladies, Run the World, Formation, and many others. Ashley actually met Beyonce when she was a teenager through Beyonce's choreographer, Frank Gatson Jr. And at just 17 years old, Ashley dropped out of the Juilliard School to join Beyonce's tour. In 2009, at the age of 19, Beyonce made Ashley her dance captain. After that, Ashley stayed Beyonce's lead dancer for years. She's been on every major tour, done countless commercials with her, and appeared in over 20 Beyonce music videos. However, in 2018, Ashley stepped back from her role as Beyonce's dance captain, but the Renaissance Tour is a turning point. This was the first Beyonce tour since 2007 that Ashley didn't participate in, and naturally, fans started speculating that something must have happened behind the scenes. And while Ashley never publicly dissed Beyonce or explained why she decided to step down, she was caught liking some very telling posts, including one that said people are entertaining demons when they listen to Beyonce. So again, this is someone who worked closely with Beyonce for over a decade, and I really don't think Ashley liked that post by mistake, because if it were an accident, she would have spoken up and cleared it up, but she never did. And then more recently, another dancer, Khadija Cherie, who worked with Beyonce on the Formation video and her 2016 Super Bowl performance, also called Beyonce a witch and accused her of allegedly wishing for something horrible to happen to her child. Khadija wrote, "Are you effing serious? You called for my child to be R-word? You evil effing witch?" Khadija even tagged Beyonce and wrote, "You went too far. You gotta be kidding me. Watch what the F y'all do at this time. When it was happening to me, I kept my mouth shut for my career, not with my goddaughter. I'll blow your world up. Really, Jigga Man?" So that's already 3 different women who worked closely with Beyonce, calling her a witch or hinting she's involved in something demonic. And this is why people find it hard to believe that Beyonce had nothing to do with Diddy's antics. Keep in mind that Diddy was also involved in some occult practices, and so were most people whose names popped up in those DOJ files. Gene Deal talked about this years ago on his YouTube channels, saying that Diddy would perform bizarre rituals during the winter solstice, including some form of idol worship.
They paid homage to certain sacrifices and homage to certain idols. And on the 3rd day, they would drink, party, be merry, and the men would have sex.
And then there was also this viral blind item that claimed Diddy once removed the head of a goat during a party on his yacht because apparently he wanted to watch its soul leaving. Just like Beyonce had several people claim she was a witch, Diddy also had many different people say they witnessed him performing rituals. One of them was Rod Long, Diddy's former producer who later became a pastor, and he claimed he witnessed rituals and seances at Diddy's infamous studio, Daddy's House.
We would all be in the studio, and it would almost be ritualistic. You know, we would light candles, and as the beats are playing, you know, they would, you know, their hands would be moving like this, and they would be chanting different things. A red room. It's like everything became red. And I started calling out to the Lord, but then the demons appeared, and they said, "He can't hear you."
But then it gets even darker. Remember celebrity medium Sloan Bella, who correctly predicted the date of Diddy's downfall? Well, Sloan claimed in one of her videos that a lot of these rich and powerful people engage in some type of energy harvesting rituals with young people.
Gay people, but what we're talking about here is ritualistic sexual deviancy used to harness energy. If you want energy that's as big as a diamond like that and as authentic, where do you get it from? You get it from children. Ritualized, thought out, planned, specifically to rip the person down and hide behind their energy. But what if we're talking about a religion that hides behind the energy of the most innocent on this planet, who are lit up energetically because it hasn't been broken? The ritualized of minors in order to tap into energy portals within the soul body or spirit body and then hook into that energy.
And look, I know this may sound wacky to some of you, but keep in mind, Sloan posted this video in June 2023. So this was months before Cassie even filed her lawsuit against Diddy. No one else was talking about this at the time, and Sloan predicted exactly what would go down with Diddy once all this came out. Now, to be clear, we're not claiming Beyonce was involved in these alleged rituals Sloan talked about, but the point is, Beyonce and Jay-Z spent decades in close proximity to Diddy, and when you have all these different people saying Beyonce is a witch and there's something demonic about her, you naturally have to wonder who this woman really is when the cameras are off. But I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. Do you think Beyonce might be involved in something way darker than we can imagine? Will we ever know the full truth about the Carters, or are they too protected? Leave all of your theories in the comments below and stay tuned for the next video.